more than 2 billion people tuned in for the final.
Whoa.
More than the Super Bowl and the World Series combined.
Come on. What do you mean by in the game for 5 days?
5 days.
Has the cricket game developed to that point yet where they're going to their technology every time? Like,
Yes, every team will see them have 2 atoms.
That sounds a little antiquated. That's a little old school.
I'm Pat Wavy, and this is Our guest today is from Brooklyn, New York. He plays for Team USA Cricket and holds the world record for the most dismissals by a wicketkeeper in a T20 match. Pulling up to the lunch table this week is Akeem Dodson. Here are the rules. I decide who wins each debate, and the winner gets a prize. At the end, I'll choose the top debater to move on to the Lunchbox Championship round. If they win, they can keep their prize or risk it for whatever is inside the mystery lunchbox.
Cricket easily has more fans worldwide than baseball could ever dream of.
Yeah, I mean, I think cricket is isolated to a few countries, whereas, this might be running into a burning building, this argument, but here's my thing. I feel like, and super American point of view, but I feel like if we took a census of everybody in the entire world, more people could probably tell you that they've seen Barry Bonds' 756 home run versus the greatest moment in cricket history. Because I couldn't even reach into the deepest part of my brain. I couldn't even tell you a name. So I feel like even Shohei had 10 RBIs. He hit, 50-50 last season.
And you can't forget about Freddie Freeman's Grand Slam.
Freddie Freeman's Grand Slam against Nestor. I just feel I don't know, if we just traveled the world for a day and asked everybody what they've seen, they could tell you probably 1 to 5, if not more, MLB moments that they have seen on YouTube, social media, whatever, versus I don't know, cricket has never even crossed my feed. But like I said, that's just, can only speak from my own perspective. I can't speak from, anyone else's, but yeah.
All right. Thank you for the input. I do it too, man. Like the average American, we see what we see, what we do. Other than in the United States, around the world, just below soccer, cricket is the most popular sport around the world. Played by more than 129 countries, something like that, where it plays in 7 divisions across the and now in the United States as well. For sure, cricket in the United States is the final frontier. Everywhere else, it has conquered and developed. If let's say you go to anywhere else where they know cricket, let's say from the most recent World Cup, they would tell you they saw USA beat Pakistan. Every cricket nation around the world, they saw that. For the last World Cup, more than 2 billion people tuned in for the final.
Whoa.
Worldwide.
For what, the Cricket World Cup?
The last T20 World Cup. Played
2 billion?
2 billion tuned in worldwide.
That sound like more than the Super Bowl.
More than the Super Bowl and the World Series combined.
Can we fact check that? Can I get a fact check?
2 billion.
Because if that's already
Almost
2 billion, 2 billion is crazy. Because
is that a quarter of the entire world?
India was in the final.
India was in the final, right?
Yeah.
To think about it.
If you take India and Australia out of the argument, which is you can't eliminate continents, but
Yeah. I don't think you're allowed to do that though. Because
you can't.
I guess, but damn, when I think about it though, I never seen I see what you're saying though. A sport, I feel like I've seen almost every single sport a highlight. Even if it's one, right. I'm trying to really close my eyes and really.
Cricket is not really a highlighted because we Americans, we watch what we love and what we do, right?
Yeah.
Cricket is not really a highlighted sport so much here in the United States, right? Because United States, our level in cricket isn't so high. We've just started to transition up to the level where we're getting that kind of recognition that we're looking for.
But I feel cricket has been around longer than pickleball.
It's been around.
I be seeing pickleball highlights on my For You page all the time. What is a pickleball? I see all types of sports and I'm really trying to sit there and think, and I haven't realized that I've actually never seen a cricket.
Even when the Olympics comes around, I feel like I see curling and like all those sports that you only
Until-
see once every 4
Or
years,
hot
but like I
dog
still
eating.
don't even see.
until the next Olympic, cricket was actually not included in Olympics for the past 70 years or something like that, or even more than that. Might even be longer. But the upcoming 2028 is the first time in a long time that cricket is actually included in the Olympics.
But still, even with the World Championships, like it just doesn't even
No, they're not in the
translate
World
to
Championships.
America ever. And I feel like baseball. I don't know about India and Australia, but like Japan has grown into a huge baseball like hotbed. You know, obviously Australia, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, and all those.
The Spanish countries are real heavy.
Yeah, they
on-
show out.
Outside of the Americas and Japan, baseball really doesn't have much reach. Similar with cricket, cricket dominates the Asian and the Asian subcontinental areas, right? Whereas baseball does better where the Americans are more prominent. And that's the way it works around the world, you know. But as far as viewership is concerned, there's too many people all around the world that just love to watch cricket.
Why do you think cricket is just not popular in America then?
I don't think cricket just hasn't found its right footing, right? For a long time, especially in the United States, USA cricket and the way it's been managed has always been this big issue. How things were with soccer before. I think cricket just hasn't had that big moment yet, where it had that opportunity to blossom and become what it's supposed to be yet. I think it's getting there. It's growing slowly but surely. But I think because too, cricket is a very like this traditionalist kind of sport, right? So for someone to get into it, they feel like they need to learn so much, but really, and that's in a lot of times keeps people away. But I believe for sure, personally, once people get a chance to experience it for themselves, they'll learn to love cricket. And cricket is becoming faster, slowly, but it's becoming faster, you know. And I think it is actually poised for a big blow up sometime. I hope, hopefully Olympics, that'll be the time.
So I feel like this one shouldn't be too hard for me to rest my case. I have a poor question though. If the most famous cricket player to play cricket right now was to just come to downtown Manhattan, do you think anybody would notice who he was?
No.
With that fact, I think I'm gonna have to go baseball. I think I'm gonna have to go baseball on this one.
What did you say? But I would say most cricketers from around the world, they really enjoy that. Cricket involves way more strategy and decision making than baseball.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, like
You sat down. That was a little shaky walk to the chair. You sure you good?
I'm sure.
You positive?
I'm positive.
All right, bro. It's your world. It's your world. It's your world.
What I need to ask you a question. What strategy and decision making do y'all make in cricket?
Multiple, of course, it's that kind of game. Like I like to say, cricket is chess. You have to decide who is going to bowl, when they're going to bowl. As far as a fielding perspective, you start when you're on the field and you're doing your fielding. You decide which bowlers are you going to use, when are you going to use them, and particularly to which kind of batsman you want to use those bowlers too. Right? Bowlers come in varying types, just like different pitchers. You know, there's some bowl fast, some bowl slow. Some are left-handed, some are right-handed. They're off spinners, leg spinners, guys who could spin the ball and turn it this
There's
way.
sliders,
They could. Well, these are
curveballs.
But most of these things have to.
Off speed.
So your main, especially as a captain, your main focus is to now decide when you're going to use them, which ones you're going to use, and which ones are going to be most effective against the opposition.
You can say the same thing about baseball.
Right. Also, you need to figure out, especially where the game becomes smaller, where it's instead of a 5-day game, where there's a 1-day game, where there's a limited amount of overs or pitches everyone could use. Right. You have to decide who could pitch, when, in what stage of the game you're going to use this guy, and then the ball, how in baseball they change the ball all the time. You use one ball throughout the game, so the ball gets older. So some guys can't bowl the ball until it gets older and more rubbed out.
I guarantee you, the best cricket pitcher, or whatever it's called, cannot throw the same amount of pitches as the best MLB pitcher in the world.
I think we know that.
Yeah,
we know
that's
that.
for
I
sure.
feel like
But
this whole argument,
think about
that's
it.
one thing that I figured out. I know that for sure. You guys have explained that to me. I know that the baseball players, cricket is a lot slower than baseball, but
It's
what
not
makes
about slower.
a baseball player, like the game of baseball, more strategic than the cricket game? Like,
You have a slider, a curveball, off-speed pitches, splitters. They have slow pitches, as you talked about. There's a pitch in the MLB that you throw around 60 miles per hour at the right time, no hitter in the world can hit it. That's a fact. Pitching takes a lot of mental and strategic things because you see how a batter bats. A batter bats low, he bats high, he swings early, he swings late. Depending on where the person hits the ball is where the ball goes. You throw pitches based off that. And you have to do that for every individual batter. I guarantee you, the best cricket player in the world at pitching cannot throw one pitch. It's going yard. Aaron Judge at the Mount, Yankee Stadium. Your best pitcher throws one of his best pitches. It's going out of the world. That's a fact.
And if I flip sides and I took the best cricket player in his cricket history, and then I threw him in an MLB game, you think he'll be able to hold his ground?
Yeah, I think so. He'll be able to at least, if you're saying he's a hitter or a pitcher, which one? Well, as a hitter, he'll be able to, I think he'll catch up eventually. But you see,
Eventually. MLB is the
that's
best
mainly the
players
skill,
in the world.
right? Every skill is adaptable differently. But as far as strategically goes, not only are you now worrying about for which personnel you use at what time is always a strategic role in either side. Now, as a captain of a cricket team, we'll stick with fielding again. There are two dynamic rings on the boundary and the inner field. You have to decide which at certain times of the game, you can't have a certain amount of fielders outside of that.
That's the same thing for baseball.
Right?
Same thing for baseball. You could have the infield moved back. You could move it up. There's players in the MLB that play multiple positions on defense where there's managers and coaches that have to switch that out.
Yeah, but you see that is at your whim in baseball, right? You could choose when you have in
That's
cricket.
decision making.
In cricket, there is a specific time where you're not allowed a certain amount of people, right? So you have to choose wisely on what kind of bowler.
So what you're trying to say is
the umpire.
It gets to a point where you have to say, all right, get some people out of here.
You have to choose you have to decide now, based on the restrictions, how you're going to set the field according to how this guy is pitching and bowling, right?
Okay, I see. I can see that, but don't baseball have something similar like that toward like the end of the innings where you only you got to bat in order. If that order is dirt, it's dirt. Okay. You know what? Let me hear from one more baseball player though. I'm gonna hear from one. I'm not gonna give you the buzzer. You survive. Let me get a system.
All right. So I got a ton of respect for your game. It's a great game. It's a beautiful game, but it's not touching my game. All right. Baseball is like such a specialized sport. Each skill is so specialized, and then there's so many restrictions within the game. You know, you have the lineup, you have pitching changes, you have fielding placements. Now they just made changes with the shift, so they did allow the shift for a period of time, and now they're restricted in which, and how they can use it. You know, they can't have multiple guys on one side of the base as they used to be able to. So. And I'm sure that the same rules apply or similar rules apply to cricket. And it's a chess match in every level, in the macro level and the micro level. So micro is pitcher versus batter. I only got 3 strikes and 4 balls to either put the ball in play or, do some damage at the plate. Now the pitcher is constantly, playing that game of deception, overpowering the person. And based on all the information that is out there right now, the thing with baseball is now the game has become so much about metrics and information. Now those tools are being used in the strategy of each individual at bat and game, where I would like for you to give me an example of how all that information is available in cricket. I haven't heard of it, metrics, and now they got exit velocity, spin rate. I could go on and on. Tell me. I want to know give me metrics.
All those metrics apply, it's a beautiful thing about sport, right? Those metrics apply across cricket as well. You would sit for an analyst before a game, and he would have you sitting in there for 4 hours telling you about the trajectory of the ball, how this guy releases, how when his arm drops this way, the ball is going to go that way. Or when you see him approaching the crease and he stutters this a little bit, he's going to tell this way, right? All those things, I think, are definitely great examples of how cricket, how every sport has used the dynamic power of digital media to change the game. It's crazy, right? Yeah. Most analysts would sit down with a hitter, and break him down piece by piece by piece. And when the pitcher or when the bowler sees him, he knows I need to bowl here, here, and here, right? Some pitchers or some hitters are very good in cricket, are very good attacking the ball when it's very close to them, when it's pitched in front of them. Mm-hmm. So you have to be able to learn this dynamic where you pitch the ball just a little further back, but it still gets to them at the same kind of pace when the one up front did, right? So you have to now find this dynamic speed between.
So that's the same.
Between strength and power.
Kind of, but I'm about to ask you. I'm about to ask you something.
Very much the same.
How often is that applied to the game of cricket though? Because
I would say,
like even from a player, you're a player. You was a pro player, so it's like, are you playing the game of cricket like, okay, I trust my skill enough, and I know what I can do, like skill wise, like base wise, or are you guys actually in there like, this guy throws this, he hits this, he bats this, wind velocity? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that really what it is? Because I know there's a what if for every situation.
Of course.
There's a what if for every situation, but how often is that? Has the cricket game developed to that point yet where they're going to their technology every time, like, okay, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this?
Yes, I would say that, yes. Especially at the franchise level and the national levels, you'll definitely see that. Every team will see them have two analysts, a video analyst and someone who's a coaching analyst.
That sounds a little antiquated. That's a little old school.
We
used to have that. Now we got computers, cameras, slow-mo, body metrics, everything, like, and it's available like this every day. Like, he could see something, and my coach would just pull up in the middle of an inning and be like, yo, we're going to expose this because your spin rate plus his bat speed, you have the advantage. We're going to exploit that. And then once he says that, the other coach will be like, oh, he figured it out. Now we got to counter that. And then the guy's going to be like, all right, we're going to keep countering. That's more strategy than I'm seeing with cricket.
I'll go baseball this one. I'll go baseball.
I appreciate you, man. That was good. That's good.
Yeah.
A top cricket player could succeed in MLB faster than any baseball player could in cricket. We have to be able to field within what is called a 30-yard circle and be a boundary fielder. Because at any time, remember, cricket is this 360 dynamic sport where that not only is just you in this diamond where the balls are being hit in this general direction, balls could be hit in all around the ground. So you have to be able to, as a fielder, react in all of those directions. And as the game changes, if a different batter comes on, where it's changed from a left-hander to a right-hander, you are automatically switching from a left fielder to a right fielder. And
so what I'm hearing is that you feel like a cricket player could like play baseball. He's better at overall.
He's able to function in all those dynamics.
So
more than one single baseball player.
It'd be easier to throw him in an MLB game and he find a spot because he.
Yeah.
I disagree with that one. Like, you still have to like produce runs. You can't win a baseball game without producing runs. So you have to get on base, either walk, hit by pitch, or a hit or error. Which you still have to hit the ball, which is very hard considering the ball is coming at like often 100 miles an hour.
But they hit the ball in cricket.
I don't think it's the same though. Like, the ball moves around, so you have change ups, you have all speed. You can't just like kind of like you can't do that in cricket.
Most balls are mainly aimed at that strike zone, right? Or in that general area around your body, right?
To an extent, but like pitchers still dominate like other teams by hitting spots. Like, they often a lot of times can hit their spots, and mistake pitches are the ones.
It's even gets more dynamic in baseball, where after seeing you a few times, a team comes with a plan, throwing here.
Yeah,
right?
so
in cricket. Not only do you have to worry about the balls that are coming at you, you have to worry about the ball that's coming off of the surface. Right? Surface play, like the use of the surface, is completely legal in cricket, right? So you have to watch the ball.
I want somebody. He's killing you. I need somebody else to play baseball. He's bodying.
You've given a lot of really good points about how like the average cricket player is well-rounded in terms of like the game of baseball, and you can kind of plug them in different places because of how the game of cricket works. But the question isn't about like, can a cricket player play baseball well? It's, can a cricket player transition to that MLB? and that's Major League Baseball. And what we're talking about here is like the biggest, strongest, fastest guys who do that kind of stuff are in that league. Right now, I think, and like the IPL, which is probably the best cricket league in the world, right?
Arguably.
I'm asking you, what's the best?
It's
IPL,
arguably.
AP, Australia?
Probably, I would say the Australians
Okay,
much
okay.
more competitive.
Regardless, though, I feel like in cricket, like the average speed for the bowler, right, is like 86 to 95. That 86 is an off-speed pitch in the MLB, right? Like the speed for that is completely different. 85 might have been what Babe Ruth was saying. Like the game has changed a lot. So I would say in terms of pitching for a cricket bowler to transition into the MLB as a pitcher, there aren't enough guys that can throw hard enough yet. So I mean, even if they have the stuff, even in that movie, $1 Million Game, they tried it, right, with 2 cricket bowlers. And it was kind of like a publicity stunt. They were on the team for like a year and got released. I would say, so for pitchers, that's kind of already been answered. And right now, I'm just waiting for them to be strong enough and throw the ball hard enough to be able to be an MLB pitcher. I don't think that's there yet. And I will say, for hitting, the league average right now is like one of the lowest it's ever been, like 240, 250. It is harder to hit these guys than it ever has been in like the history of the sport, which already shows also in terms of transitioning a cricket bowler to a pitcher, like that's the level that they'd have to reach. Is like these are the best pitchers of all time today, throwing the nastiest, fastest stuff that we've seen. So yeah, the league average being 250 is also a product of that. So it's like, I don't know if guys in the cricket leagues are big enough and strong enough to hit those pitches. And if they are, they're not used to seeing that speed or that movement, right? Obviously, they're also seeing a different type of pitch, right? Like that goes both ways with it coming off the ground and whatnot. But I still think with those being my main points, I don't think a cricketer could transition to Major League Baseball. And my point the other way is that these guys are some of the best athletes in the entire world. Like they could transition to a lot of different sports pretty easily. And I think with cricket being, similar in certain ways, that might be one of the easier ones.
I'll start by saying it's probably, like you said, the last thing you said, where I think they could both interchange, especially at the elite level, where you're talking about MLB players versus a guy who is a national representative for one of the major cricketing countries, right? They could both transition both ways, I think. But where I think the cricket player will probably just edge out the baseball player, especially, let's say, from the hitting perspective, it's not only the fastball that really beats you, okay? Especially in cricket, it is the ball that doesn't have any pace or any speed, the one that's slow and full of guile, that pitches here and beats you this way, off the turf, right? Those are the ones that the baseball players don't struggle with more. When the ones are fast and coming off, well, he'll catch up to those nicely. But when the ones just give him a little extra second to think about what is this one going to do, and it drifts and hits the turf and goes that way. When he thought his arm went this way, but he thought it was spinning that way, but it spun the other way, right? So spin bowling.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I feel like 100% a baseball player trying to hit that is going to be really hard, and they're going to have to take some adjustments. But I think there are going to be players in cricket who will stand in the batter's box and could watch 500 MLB pitches from the same guy, and on 501, they still don't know what they're looking at. They still are watching it go into the mid. Like, I don't know how to deal with this.
All right, so here, this is why the best cricket player, or like the best cricket pitcher that in cricket.
Let me say one more thing, Pat. The average, I was talking about the league average before, like 250 in MLB, right? Like, cricket average works by how many runs you score before your dismissal, right?
Right.
So on average, though, people are usually, the average cricket player is scoring like double-digit runs before their dismissal. Yeah. So already there, like on average, MLB guys, the best in the world, are striking out all the time. And those are the best people at what they do. And so I'm just saying, like, that just shows, I think, that hitting a baseball is much harder than what you have to do in cricket, just based on those stats. That was the last thing I'll say.
Whew, damn, y'all left me a how?
One more thing about pitching.
He needs it.
The pitching, right? The pitching, and for the pitching dynamic, right? Baseball it's a throwing action. Remember, cricket, that's why it's called bowling, right? Like you go set up the pins and you bowl. Mm-hmm. The action your elbow needs to be straight. In an upward action. That's why it's called bowling. You're not anytime this elbow flexes past a certain degree, is no longer a legal delivery, right? It's not allowed, right? So throwing with the amount of power you get from throwing speed versus bowling, where you have to get that natural swing, is very different. At least at 10 yards apace.
That's definitely a big difference.
Yeah.
That's throwing this
So
way
it makes
versus-
it does, and it also helps to the dynamic where the bowler is able to use that action to get swing now in different ways to get the ball past the batter, right? Same way, like cricket, don't say cricket, the ball don't swing, because it definitely swings, okay?
Oh,
So
no, for sure.
there's-
There's
so
a lot of movement on both.
Catching
You know
up to a
what?
knuckleball or a slide is not
I think
out of ordinary.
I think first question. This was a tough one, but I'll go cricket on the first one. I'll go cricket. I'll go cricket on the
That's
first
fair,
one.
that's fair,
I'll go
that's
cricket.
I respect
I'll go
it.
cricket. I'll go
I
cricket.
respect it. I appreciate it.
I'll go
Try,
cricket.
I try.
Baseball's right there, but I'll go cricket. Let's go cricket. I'm feeling cricket on that one.
Cricketers need way more endurance and fitness than baseball players.
I mean, I just have a quick question. What do cricket players do for their endurance?
As far as training,
Yeah.
running, swimming, endurance training, like basically gym, a lot of gym stuff. What else kind of stuff? Beach training, I think the last thing that the trainer gave me was something like that. But yeah, mostly a lot of running and gym work. Intermittent training, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so baseball players, they do that plus their skills for baseball. And that takes a lot of hard work because the metrics part of it, they have to be up in the percentages that MLB is looking for, or else they'll be off the team. And that's just, they need that endurance plus their stats to stay as is, or else they'll be gone. How long is the cricket season?
The most elite cricketers play all year. The one time they'll take off is probably just before Christmas and just after New Year.
Should be all year, like
All year. January, February, March, April, May, June. Because the cricket plays all around the world. So if you're an elite player, you'll be almost every season, every other month, there's what they call these T20 junkets. So they play all around these tournaments. Wow. That's the shorter format. These are for franchise teams that they're playing with now. So after that, they also have to return and play for their local countries, for their country, for wherever they come from. They have to play their test matches, which those are 5-day games, where they have to be basically on, like you're in the game for 5 days. You might get lucky and finish the game early. And
time out. What do you mean by in the game for 5 days?
5 days. It's a 5-day game. There's 2 innings, the 2 long innings where you have to. First, you need to bowl out one team. If one team decides to bat, they can choose to bat for a day and a half. While you got to run around and chase them all up and down and all around in the sun.
So you're telling
90 for.
So you're telling me a game could go for 24 hours straight?
No, it's from 10 in the morning to about 6 in the afternoon. All right.
And then you continue the next day?
You continue the next day. The umpire calls time. You pack everything up. You get inside and you hopefully get some
Okay,
sleep.
so going back to that, MLB, they play series where they have 6-5 games in a series. And also going back to what you were saying about all season long, there's also winter leagues that players play in. And that's in the harsh cold where these players are playing in New York City in the winter.
The early season in the UK starts in March. Most times you get out on the field, it's frosted.
So what's the longest cricket game you ever happened?
Well, the longest one has been that 5-day game, but I think that one went way into the night. I think the longest one. So it was.
I'm still trying to wrap my mind around a 5-day game. Like so.
It transitions through innings. Like one team bats, then the other team. Before the other team can bat, you have to be completely bowled out, or the team has to decide we're not batting anymore. We've made enough runs, and then another team bats. The next team bats. The opposition.
So it's how many timeouts you get?
Well, they take water breaks, but they take water breaks every 45 overs, so that's about 3 hours.
So MLB players, they don't take water breaks.
Well, you get a water break every 3 hours after you've been out in the sun.
Baseball players?
No, cricket players. They're 3
Yeah, I'm
hours.
saying baseball players. When they're hitting, they're hitting. When they're fielding, they're fielding. When they're in the dugout, they might have a split minute to get water. That'll be it.
But how long is a baseball game?
It can span from 2 hours to 6-8 hours.
And in that time, you've been on and off the field about 9 different separate times as you change innings, right?
Yes, but you don't always get the chance to get a sip of water.
Yeah, but in this game, you were talking about 3 hours nonstop. without having to.
I know they be getting a sip of water in that dugout. Yeah, you ain't telling me ain't sipping no water. Come on, bro. Coach me. Next.
I completely like understand what you're saying. Like my family's Guyanese, so like they watch cricket. But like a big thing that's like overlooked is the player health. Like that's another factor of endurance. Baseball players like Shohei Ohtani cannot pitch every single time that he's out there for 9 innings straight because his elbow is literally going to explode. Like if you look at a lot of baseball players, the rate of Tommy John surgery has like increased by like a significant amount. And not even that, like bowlers, they don't throw as hard as baseball players. So the stress on their arm is like so much less significant. And going back to your last point about like how like arm positioning is, like a big like baseball player, he's playing in the World Series right now, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he literally throws javelin sticks. So it's the same principle as cricket. But when you look at endurance, when you're literally like throwing a ball 100 miles an hour, like Paul Skeens could literally tear his UCL like at any point. And that requires like an insane amount of physical endurance. And like me, myself, like I've had to do like a lot of physical therapy to build up my endurance, and I'm nowhere near that level of MLB players. So like, yes, while there is a lot of like time endurance needed, the physical endurance like completely outweighs that, because there's a reason why you need such a long roster in a championship series and like the World Series, because literally like the rate of like your health just going down straight away is like so much more significant. And like Aaron Judge, he doesn't even like pitch, but he literally had a UCL sprain, and he's literally an outfielder, and he's like well known for his hitting. And in an endurance sense, like Trey Turner needs an insane amount of endurance when he's hitting a literal inside the park home run. Earlier this year, I'm pretty sure Ellie De La Cruz literally hit an inside the park home run, and that took about like 13 seconds to hit that. So that's a big part about the physical endurance. And you see that the spike of like injuries that happen to this is so much more tremendous than cricket bowlers, cricket, batters, like everything. And that's just like how physical endurance like plays such a big factor.
Question to you though. Okay, the baseball players. So you told me they got a lot of strength. They're throwing. They're using a lot of, putting a lot of. But I got the chance to watch a little baseball. Bro, baseball guys are like the guys that hit with that much power are slow as like that's slow as a turtle running down the street.
That's not true at all. Like Trey Turner is speedy, and Pete Alonso.
But
Like, a lot of people call him like a lot of people call Pete Alonso fat, but like Pete
What
Alonso's
about
fast.
what about like Stanton or something like
Stanton when he was in Miami, he was really fast. Yeah, and he had a lot of knee and ankle injuries.
say-
Again, going to how like his leg injuries show like how his endurance eventually has to run out, because it requires so much like endurance already needed. So especially up top of the fact that he's playing 162 games, right, with probably around like 60 days of rest, and then on top of that he has to play another at most like 7-game series in the championship series, and then the World Series, like presumably like last year. That's why like endurance is a very much bigger thing in baseball.
How about his
I would
injury?
say-
How about the injury in cricket?
I would say that's what I was saying, that to play cricket, that's why you need more endurance. You see, most baseballs, especially Major League Baseball, they have power. They're very strong. That's why they have the ability to push their bodies for such a long time, especially to carry out the whole season. That's why a lot of them get injured, because for them to explode at that level consistently all the time, they put themselves at risk. But the average cricketer, especially like if you want to compare fast bowlers, they spend so much time taking care of their bodies that they don't have to overexert themselves, especially after you what helps to keep what fitness and endurance helps you with, it is being able to keep the body intact, right? Endurance, the lack of fitness endurance is what breaks your body.
Yeah, right? But when you're looking at elite cricketers, they throw like 135 kmh.
Yeah.
But elite baseball players throw like 165 kmh, which is like 95. 100.
Their workload is
And-
much more. That's why.
Exactly. And if you look at a cricket bowler, if he were to throw that from the stationary position that a baseball player does, which requires a lot more endurance rather than just running up and spiking it, because you get a lot more force from that because of like the force mass equation, physics, whatever. Like when you look at that requires a lot more endurance, because there's so many like biomechanical like things that you need to do. And on top of that, if you put a professional cricketer in that stationary position, at most he's throwing 70 miles an hour. And Aaron Judge is sending that out of Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And also, on top of that, in cricket, when you're just like hitting, like you could literally just stand in the box. In baseball, there's so many things that you have to analyze. On top of the fact that you have to watch the pitch clock, you have to watch the pitch, you have to analyze the pitcher. That requires like mental endurance as well. That's why baseball is one of the hardest like mental sports in the world.
Cricket, the same mental endurance, but same mental endurance plays out, but it doesn't. It's not only over 3 pitches or 3. it is sometimes a good batter in his inning, he'll bat 100 or so pitches.
Exactly. And
It takes that. It is a more intense mental focus
That's what
to
I'm
stretch
saying.
over that long period of time under pressure, right? In the hot sun most of the time.
I would much rather have 100 strikes than the 3 strikes.
No, but then-
because mentally that's so much more like
Wait,
No, at any of these pitches, you could have got out on it. Okay, you couldn't take one or miss one, or you had to be on
Well, if it
point
misses
every
the wicket,
ball.
you-
If it misses the wicket, you survive.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
If you miss the ball, you get a strike.
yeah, but
That's the thing, and that's why.
but it's only 3 of them,
closer.
right? There's 3 of them, and and sometimes it's more than 3 because guys pitch balls and things like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a finite amount of if he throws me a certain amount of balls, he has to do this now, I know where he's thinking. If you think about your own weaknesses and say, okay, I know I'm weak here. He's good enough. This is where he's going to attack me.
Yeah.
You could figure him out to almost.
Yeah, but in the MLB,
like
if
Sudoku,
the
man.
pitcher got you figured out, he's got you figured out. Because you throw a fastball down the middle and then you throw a slider, it's going to start the same way as a fastball. It's just going to finish at your ankles. And
All right,
like,
we got.
you got two
I
strikes.
think we got into skills a little bit. We were talking about skill training before. Where a lot of baseball players use skill training. Remember, if you talk about skill, a big part of cricket training is that skill, especially training the skill aspect, is a great way for fitness as well, right? So, having the fitness and the endurance, it takes a lot. Like a
back to me. Ready? What I'm trying to figure out, right? So you told me a lot of like the power baseball players get the injuries high, but I don't know. Like I think want to hear the running around all day long until like saying you can stay on offense. That's like, for example, if a baseball player had to just keep running, would they be able to hit as hard every time they touch the plate? Like I feel like I'm thinking about it like this.
a good question. How many outfielders are pitchers, or at least how many pitchers are outfielders?
one, Ohtani was an outfielder.
And does he usually like pitch and then run in the outfield right after?
No, but he goes hit.
He goes to hit. That's the thing for especially let's say a fast bowler. From the time he's finished his 6-ball spell, there his ball is over. He's right back in the field. Sometimes I've seen it happen on so many occasions that as soon as he gets to his fielding position, the next 3 balls are hit to him. So he has to chase it here and chase that way, and then run in and throw, and then he's back to bowling the next again. After
Yeah,
that.
but going back to my previous point, when you're looking at the endurance of baseball, it's literally impossible to train for the like endurance and the strength that you need in order to prevent injury. No matter what, no matter if you're in the MLB, you'll always have one injury that you would have had. But in cricket, you're exercising at most 80% of what professional baseball players will. And that's why the injury rate is so much lower, because it's possible to exercise for that endurance. In baseball, it's like physically like impossible. And that's why like in a lot of reports, like they'll be saying like, oh, here's how you can prevent it.
That's a tough statement to make.
The mechanics,
It's
right.
It's a tough statement that it's impossible.
But I mean, it's
to
true.
be. Damn.
Good pitching.
I'm going cricket on this one, man. I'm going cricket on this one, man. I'm a good one. Damn, baseball.
The Cricket World Cup is a way bigger global spectacle than the World Series.
All right, so I'll say 2 things. I'll say cricket, one, is limited to the English-speaking world, and baseball is not. It's Spanish, Spanish, English, Korean, Japanese, sometimes even Chinese. It's growing in that country as well. So I would say in terms of reach, like culturally, it's not limited to the English-speaking world. And also in terms of the amount of money that goes into it, especially since it's every year, like, yeah, maybe there are more viewers for cricket, but the players and the production companies and the ads that all go into the World Series, like hands down, has got to have cricket beat. So that's what I would say.
All right. As far as the World Cup goes, the World Cup, the only thing I probably equate to the World Cup is the Olympics, because it's just this global event where countries from all over the world not only participate or try to participate, they're trying to win, and they feel everyone has this representation there, right? So not only do everyone tune in, they watch along, they root for their teams, and it's just that it's the World Cup. Well, the World Series sounds nice, but what really, I think, when you say limited to the English-speaking world, it's a bit of a stretch because cricket is actually more popular outside of the English-speaking world, more than anywhere else.
Like where?
Like Nepal and then India.
But
Bangladesh.
that's like an English colony though. Like it's like
No,
an English sport. It's an English sport. Yeah,
That's what you
yeah.
mean by the former English colonizers. Right.
Yeah, and like when the Dodgers in the World Series, like there are millions and millions of people in Japan staying up through the night to see Otani and Yamamoto play. And same thing in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico and even Venezuela.
I would say because the USA is just this big melting pot of all these people from all around the world. Same way when the World Cup is on, there are more than 1 million people here in the United States where the cricket is not even so popular. Forget about everywhere else in the world. There's so many people from here that are tuned in to watch. So it really does a really good job of connecting everywhere else in the world. I think baseball is getting close to because the World Series, like their marketing and their everything else is just so out of this world, right? It's hard to beat them. But cricket, it is natural attraction. I think it's got baseball beat.
What about the fact that the World Cup happens every 4 years and the World Series is annual? So like because it's every 4 years, there's more suspense and more people are tuning in, just like with the Olympics and the World Cup. World Series gets old after a while, but still there's like millions of people tuning in. And again, like I said, all this money going towards it. So yeah.
Which I would say that's a big part. That's definitely a big thing. Because every 4 years, that's like if you didn't let me watch a basketball championship for every 4 years, there's no way in God's green earth I'm gonna miss the one on the 4th year.
And it's not nations versus nations
either.
either.
To have me watch something like year in, gotta be something about this day that is just like, you know what I'm saying? Whew, this is tough though. I'm not. Wait. Damn.
Vote.
Also, the World Cup is best of 1, yeah? World Series is best of 7.
like this.
Best Series, best of 7. The World Cup, they've done a good job of making it no longer a knockout, where more teams get a chance to play against each other and make it a bit longer. So it's not just a knockout anymore, where when you get knocked out and you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they play a group stage, and out of the group stage, you move to the eliminator, and then from the eliminator to the semis, and then things like that. But they definitely did a lot better. Stop making that knockout thing. That made it very boring, for sure. You got to wait 4 years again for your team to lose one game and you go home.
Oh, it was one game?
It used to be a knockout.
Oh, no.
It used to be a knockout a few years ago, but they changed that. So you would be waiting 4 years and your team goes in the first game, they get knocked out, you crying tears of blood.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway, I'll let someone else go.
Yeah. Who want to take this question? You got to jump in?
It's really hard to like put like the two together. Like baseball is just like, it's not like a nation versus nation. Like it's just like local teams. Like when you have nations against nations, like you got like a sense of nationalism. You feel me? Like you gotta root your team on. Feel me? Like like for example, him. Like he's from the Bronx. He's a Dodgers fan. I don't really make no sense. Feel me? Like in the world's like during the Olympics, whenever like they played like those country games like between like baseball teams like the DR versus like Puerto Rico, like you get like a lot of viewership from that because like you have national like a national like
I
sense
see
of
what you're saying.
nationality.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And like you can't really put it to scale of, like from cricket and baseball because it's like
It's definitely a hard one. I thought so
Yeah.
too. It's a hard one to scale because for cricket, it's this national pride that you get, right? And for
Yeah.
people will always cling to that and they will feel like whether they're there or not, they got to give it their all. And everybody's got to watch it to get together. If you go, for sure, when you go to a lot of smaller countries, you see, especially places where media or things like TVs aren't so big, right? You see everybody comes together at one big village TV to sit down and watch.
yeah.
All right? So.
All right, so this one was tough. But because I think that like it's hard to compare a sport like, for example, cricket, soccer, rugby, these sports that are played like in so many different nations and out of different countries, and they have the chance to play against each other. Like I'm thinking about if the MLB said, you know what, I'm gonna take the Dodgers, the best team in MLB, and to go play the best team in Japan. I'm sure
Yeah, like
the
a
views would be
viewership for like
will be. But for
crazy.
what? For because even when you're thinking about it, like how you said, Americans only see what Americans want to see, and it's like what we have 50 states. What they added a new one not too long ago, right? 50. Did they not? whatever they did. I know they changed it every year, bro. But it's like for there to be that much people involved in one MLB game, and it's only at 50 states, and I'll say the viewership is not terrible because when you think about it, a lot of people, even me, I don't watch baseball. I wasn't the craziest baseball player, but I will watch the World Series. You know what I'm saying? When Freddie Freeman walked off the Yankees, but I'm just like
7th time
I watched the World. I got to watch the World Series, so I go baseball on this one. You know, I go baseball on this one. 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 Each round has a new question. The challenger and our special guest gets 30 seconds each to debate. I'll decide the winner of each round. Best 2 out of 3 wins this episode of Lunchbox. Y'all ready? Shocker, bro. I'm gonna go my man right here. That's I ain't hear from him too much, but when he sat down, he made me sit down real quick.
I live up to the hype. Let's go.
Y'all ready? First question. Fielding in cricket is way tougher than in baseball.
Yeah, that's no contest. The reason being that fielding in the baseball, not only are you dealing with such high velocity plays with the ball coming off the bat, being received by the batter and being put into play, is you are very interdependent on someone else making the play. So we're limited on the amount of space, right? Because the field is only a diamond, we don't have a full 360. So you're specialized to one area, and a ball on the ground specifically is the hardest ball to turn into an out because you have to field it, throw it, and the other guy on the other end has to receive it cleanly to turn it into an out.
All right, time. All right, you ready? I'm going to repeat the question for you, though. Fielding in cricket is way tougher than in baseball.
All right. First of all, no gloves. Everything needs to be done barehanded. Not only is the ball hit at a high velocity, most times 100 miles per hour plus off that bat, that nice big broad bat that they like to use, but you got to chase it, stop in a 360, right? And it's hard, most times, there's hardly anyone ever close to you to help you out. So you're covering a large area at high speed and in a hot, most times in a hot, brawling sun, right? So it's a lot of ground to cover, a lot of running, a lot of picking up, a lot of throwing.
I'm going to go baseball first question. I'm going to go baseball first question. Bowling in cricket takes way more skill and control than pitching in baseball.
Most times bowling, unlike baseball, where you're only throwing the ball like full straight at the guy. Most times, that's mostly straight, but you're trying to hit the catcher most times. Nice full throw. Cricket takes pitching, knowing where to pitch on this surface. You got to cater for deviation off the surface, velocity you're bowling at, and adjusting to where the batsman is looking to hit the ball. Whether he's hitting the ball close or hitting it far, you got to make sure you pitch it always in the right place, away from the guy.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, you good.
Yeah, pitching in baseball is definitely way more precise and way more difficult because I believe that cricket, you're a little restricted on your motion and you only have one arm slot. You're dealing with an infinite amount of arm slots in the pitching motion and you're bending the elbow. It's like you're putting so much of your biomechanical motion into throwing this ball 60 feet and at 100 miles an hour and you have 17 inches to get it, make it an appropriate strike, and you're off by a millisecond, a millimeter, you're good.
I'm going cricket. I think cricket. I'll go cricket on this one.
And pitchers got so much
It's
options.
that-
they
it's
can
that-
I know.
Right now, we have one right here and one right here, which means the winner of this question will be the winner of Lunchbox. Are y'all ready?
Ready.
Y'all ready?
Let's go.
Final question. Cricket games are way more exciting to watch than baseball. Baseball started off, man.
Oh, nah. So our game is condensed into like 2-3 hours of nonstop high impact incitement. And I'll tell you right now, the most exciting moment in sports is a walk-off home run. There's nothing in cricket that tops a walk-off home run. Imagine hitting it, winning the game, you circle the bases, and you have 25 of your boys just welcoming you and just throwing a party for you at the plate. There's nothing in cricket that could beat that.
Time. He ended it early. You ready? Ready? Sure you want to take a thought process? You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Good. We live.
Cricket, the biggest party in sport. Not only do the people who watch it enjoy it, the people on the field enjoy it, right? As far as hitting, you can see about at least 10 sixes or more every game. That's on the low side. Balls always flying off the bat. Balls always ready to catch. But the most important thing is when the game comes down, you could sit on the edge of your seat and you're sitting there wanting to know what's going to happen next. And the guy's running in and and the whole crowd is going. And just when you think that team had it, 2 balls and the whole game changes. 2 balls to get 6 runs.
Tom.
Bang, bang, game done.
Tom.
Never know when it's done.
And the winner of this here's episode of Lunchbox will be baseball.
Yeah. He gives it to baseball.
That was a good one. You about to make me watch some cricket when I get home. I know. Do you want to keep your 6-7 water or gamble it for whatever in the mystery lunchbox?
I'm going for the lunchbox.
Yeah,
Lunchbox?
go for the
Go for
lunchbox.
the lunchbox? I bet. You can open it. Open up the lunchbox. Open up the lunchbox. That's all. What they say?
Look under the table.
The 6-pack.
Hey y'all, thank you for watching another episode of Lunchbox. Links for the videos are below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know who you want us to bring on the show next. Peace, we out.